another episode of Disturbing Reasons to Be Afraid of the Dark. Yes, we're going to do some more of abandoned catacombs in a nearby town. Yes, I'm wearing the same thing because I'm doing it the same day because I want to try to get this finished because it's a really, really long story, like I've said before. And I just found out when I was just doing my research, I want to let y'all know this, even though you're not going to see it till tomorrow, but I didn't want to forget. They took down part 4. So it's going to be shorter. I'm kind of glad, but I'm kind of not because I want to know what happened. But it's not going to be up, and I don't know if they're going to re-put it. I don't know. So it's kind of like, fudge, you know? It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's not because I'm glad that it's finished. Because when I was writing it, I only thought it was 2 parts. But when I was almost finished with the second part, they uploaded the 3rd part. So it's like, I was like, dang, I didn't realize how long this story was going to be, in honesty. And yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm really sorry about this. That's this long. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. In the other one, they are in the catacombs, and Maya is by herself. She doesn't know where her boyfriend is. Where is her friend? She don't know where her friend Graham is. So right now, she's trying to find them, and she's really upset. So we're about to read into it and see what happened. Okay. Moving toward the source of the sound and occasionally shining my light towards the path where the junkie disappeared out of fear, I turned left and followed the sound. It was getting louder now. With each step I made, the sound was getting clearer, and now it sounded like something dull was hitting the wall. The air felt very heavy. It wasn't natural. Something was terribly wrong. As I turned left around the corner, I heard it very clearly. It was just around the next corner on the left side. I moved very slowly, listening to the sound which seemed almost synchronized like a clock. Thump, thump, thump. With the thumping sound, I heard something else, something that chilled the marrow of my bones. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but then I decided to listen to it more. It sounded like someone was whispering between the thumps. It was inaudible, and I was unable to tell who was talking. But from the manner in which the words were being whispered, it sounded like something very sinister, and I couldn't tell why, which is why I was even more scared. No more games. I decided it was time to face whatever this was. Bracing myself for an attack, I jumped around the corner and shone my light in the room in front. Who's there? I tried to scream authoritatively, but even I could hear the fear in my voice. Who's there? I tried to scream those words out. The sounds completely ceased, both the whispers and the thumping, and now their silence seemed more threatening than 1,000 loud thumps. Slowly I moved my flashlight across the room, not able to stop its uncontrolled shaking. The room seemed empty, but I couldn't force myself to scan it quickly enough. I felt that I would get a heart attack when I imagined shining my light into a face staring in front of me. Besides, if anything was in there, it would have attacked me already. The first wall was completely clear, so I decided to continue moving the light in a clockwise motion to scan the entire room. My heart jumped to my throat when I illuminated what seemed like a person facing the adjacent wall, not moving. And then I realized by the clothes that it was my boyfriend. James! I screamed, running between him and the wall, hugging him tightly, afraid he would disappear again. Maya? He responded cataconically, his mouth agape and his eyes as if he was dead. Baby, what happened to you? Why did you just run off? What happened to your head? I saw he had a red patch on his forehead. Baby, let's get out of here. I want to go now. Yeah, he responded, taking my hand and leading me out, still catatonic. This way. Guys, is that you? I heard Graham's voice echo throughout the corridor. Graham, we're here. I found James. The next thing I heard was Graham's heavy footsteps as his light appeared around the corner. And then him in the flesh. Oh, thank God, he gasped and leaned on his thighs, catching his breath. We need to get out of here now. Fudge this place. This was a bad fudging idea, I shouted, relieved and stressed at the same time. This way, James repeated in the same toneless way and led me out, almost dragging me with him. Never in my life had I been so happy to see sunlight. The difference in the air inside and outside was almost palpable, and I instantly felt pressure dissipate from my entire body and mind. But something was still wrong. I just couldn't tell what. In that moment, I didn't care. We were out safely, and I couldn't have been more relieved. As the feeling abated, anger overtook me all of a sudden instead. Graham, what the actual fudge? I yelled at him, my voice sounding muffled after the experience in the enclosed catacombs. What the hell were you thinking bringing us here? You said it was safe. Hey, I'm sorry. I really didn't know. You didn't know? I raised my tone. We could have been killed down there. We could have gotten lost or killed by one of those druggies. Look, you're upset. I understand. Shut up. My anger started to disappear as well as I regained some of my control of my temper. Graham, we are never taking your ideas into conversation again. This was the dumbest, most reckless fudging thing you could have led us into. Jesus. I'm sorry, all right? I was told the place was small and safe. How could I have known that? He stopped and fixed his gaze behind me. That what, Graham? Hey, what's up with James? He gestured with his head behind me with a worried expression on his face. I turned around to see James facing away from me, squatting nearby and holding his palms on his head. It looked like he was shaking his head. James? I started approaching him very slowly. Fear started returning. As I got closer, I realized that he wasn't shaking his head. I was wrong. He was twitching. For a moment, it reminded me of patients from an insane asylum, as portrayed in movies. James, you're scaring me. Tears filled my eyes as I stopped behind him, trying to figure out what was going on. Was he traumatized by this event? Was he so scared down there when he got lost that he suffered a nervous breakdown or something? James, I shouted at him in desperation, and he instantly snapped out of it, standing up. He kept staring in front of himself for a moment, and then observed his own palms curiously. He then looked around like he was unaware of his surroundings. Let's go home, he said in a robotic way, and I didn't need to hear it twice to get going. Graham, start the car, I commanded. Maya, he started, but I raised my hand and cut him off. Just start the dang car. On our way back, James didn't say a word. He kept staring out the window, only showing the slightest movement when he saw something interesting outside, and frankly, I wasn't sure what he could have seen on that desolate road. James, are you okay? I tried to comfort him, but on touch his body was pretty goddamn tense, and the only response I got was a lifeless yes. I started to get seriously worried. I knew this sort of thing could not have lasting effects, but I still was worried as fudge. When we stopped the car, James kept staring out the window. Even after I exited the vehicle, he was still inside, swiveling his eyes back and forth across the street. I opened the door for him and told him to come out. He seemed to have regained a little bit of his control of his behavior from what I could tell from his posture and movement. Without saying a word, he walked into the apartment building, not waiting for me. I gave Graham a look and followed James inside without saying goodbye to my friend. I was really glad to be home, but was still worried about James. When I walked into the apartment, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring out the window. James, you okay? Yes, he replied, in the same robotic way, looking at the orange sky outside. It's too bright outside. Well, let's just close the blinds, baby. I took off my shoes, and by the time I stood back up, I saw he had moved. James? Yes? Close the blinds if it's too bright for you. Reluctantly, he got up and closed them and then sat back down. Staring at the closed blinds, I thought about calling a doctor tomorrow. I'll be right back, babe. Just go and take a shower, I said, and got no response. I didn't even see the scraped skin on my knees and palms until I started undressing. I don't remember where I hurt myself, but it must have been while I was wildly chasing after James and avoiding crazy junkies. My mind went back to that moment when that young guy startled me. What was it he said? I tried to remember. You'll wake him up or something? Were there more of them down there? Did he have a deranged junkie friend or something? Anyway, doesn't matter anymore. I can't turn the page. When I finished taking a shower, I approached the door. but then remembered that I forgot my cell phone in my dirty jeans. I turned around to take it out, but then something caught my attention. Something which made the hairs on the back of my neck stand straight up. It was very unclear, but there was some kind of sound coming from the outside of the door. Voices? I placed my ear on the door and tried to listen to it. It was muffled, but I could definitely hear it. Someone was talking in the living room. Very slowly and quietly, with only the sound of my heart thudding against my chest, I turned the knob and opened the door. Almost instantly, the sound became louder and clearer, and I had to place a palm on my mouth to stop a loud gasp. It was the same whispering sound I heard in the catacombs. I could not decipher what they were saying or who was even talking, but it sounded just as sinister as it did down in the hellhole. With my palm still covering my mouth, I slowly moved into the hallway and then stepped towards the living room. I could still not tell what was being said by the voice. It was too incoherent. Taking another deep breath, I stepped into the living room, only to be greeted by silence and James in the same position I left him. "James, what the hell?" He slowly turned around towards me and smiled in the creepiest way I had ever seen him do. "Maya, my love, you look beautiful." "James, who are you talking to just now?" I wasn't talking to anyone," he shrugged. "I heard voices just now. You were whispering." "Strange." He looked around the room and then back in my direction. "Maybe you are just tired. We should get some sleep. It's been a long day." Didn't wait for my response, but instead just turned away from me and lied down on the bed, not even bothering taking off his clothes. I wanted to ask him what happened down in the catacombs, but I was afraid it would stir some bad memories and emotions, so I just decided to ignore it. All the time I thought he was right. We were both tired, and some rest is what we desperately needed. I lied down next to him and closed my eyes, hoping that this situation would improve by tomorrow. But this was only the beginning. I didn't wake up until late morning when the stubborn sun decided to blind me. It was Saturday, so I didn't need to worry about work. The bed was empty by that time. Out of habit, I grabbed my phone and checked the messages. 3 messages from Graham late last night. "Hey, look, I'm really sorry about today. I don't know what I was thinking. Maya, come on, don't be like this. At least respond, please." Memories from yesterday started rushing in and panic overtook me again. I can't explain it, but just thinking about that dark place and what could have possibly happened to us made my dread grow unexpectedly. Wondering where James went and what his condition was like today, I placed the phone back on the nightstand and sat on the edge of the bed. As soon as I did that, I wanted to lie back down, because the room was so stuffy that I felt like my body weighed 200 kilograms. "James, are you there?" I called for him. For a second, I thought I would start hearing those horrific whispers again, but I was only greeted by silence. Approaching the bathroom door, I first tried listening in. "James?" I knocked 3 times and leaned in towards the door. The next thing I knew, the door swung open with a loud bang. It would have smashed my nose if I had not instinctively placed my hands in front of myself, hitting my back up on the wall behind me. I continued holding my hands up, frightened and expecting to be attacked at any moment. "James, what are you doing?" "Oh, sorry, babe, I didn't see you there." James closed the door behind him gently, approaching me. "Did I hurt you?" Relief overcame my tired body. I lowered my hands, regaining my composure. Thank God he was back to his old self. And that's all the time we have for today. I'm so sorry, guys. But I'll be doing 2 videos today, so if you like this one, go ahead and wait for the next one. I'll upload it in just about an hour or 2 because I have to edit. Thank you for joining me for that episode of Disturbing Reasons to Be Afraid of the Dark. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment to my channel. Press the bell button to get notifications from me. And stay scared, my Nicky Loos.